welcome to another edition of the Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman, and I'm joined by my usual cohorts, Uncle Joe McLaughlin, and he's JP's first son, Tim Hoey. Well, we have another great show for you tonight, boys, so let's get it started. We got to start with the Boston Celtics, and we went from high to low, and that's what sports is all about, right? You go to the highest of highs to the lowest of lows. They polish off a good Minnesota Timberwolves team. We're thinking, this is weird. I mean, this is like the 86 Celtics. Next thing you know, Rob Williams in the morning finds out he has a torn ACL, meniscus, whatever you want to call it. Most likely out for the season, going to have surgery. Look, Timmy talked about it, and we'll start with Timmy. Timmy, you talked about if this team ever got to the guys together, if they ever got their five starters together, and you were saying this the whole season, let's see what kind of team they are. We saw what team they are. They're a championship caliber team, and now they're missing their key defensive piece. Is the season over?
I think it is. Does Rob make it back for the playoffs? I mean, no.
Possibly. It all depends on what they have to do with that meniscus.
I mean,
if it's only a slight tear. They can cut that part out, polish it up, and he's back in like 4 to 5 weeks. Second round of the playoffs.
This team is built on defense, and he was just really starting to roll along here. I mean, thank God Tice is here. I mean, it gives him a chance. I mean, look at what they played last night. They almost won that game. And
yeah, but Rob Williams is a special talent.
That whole defense flows around Rob Williams. And so I would, Scotty, when was the last Celtics team when you turned the game on, you expected them to romp the other team? That hasn't happened since 86, probably, right?
There's no question. Yeah, the Garnett team didn't blow everybody out. Maybe they had stretches where they did.
Great home record, though. Yeah,
but they had stretches where they blew them out. But this is where it's not even competitive.
Yeah.
Games aren't competitive right now, the way they've been playing.
It's crazy. They were just murdering teams.
And Rob Williams is a key part of it. He brings a defensive prowess that how many times in the storied history of the Celtics, I would think of Garnett, I would think of Parrish, of course, Bill Russell. But as far as big men who with that kind of defensive talent, name some others. There aren't too many.
He's a specialized talent, though, Scotty. He really can't play defense. That's why they have him in the role he's in. They tried playing him. He can't play man. What he can do is if they're going to make a mistake on defense, the other 4 guys funnel it into him. He'll take care of business. He can jump out of the gym, and he can correct any mistake.
And Timmy Udoka has figured out how to use his talents to the highest abilities.
Like I said, that's the best stretch we've seen 25 years.
No.
Nate Archibald was the point guard.
No, 2000,
86.
No, wait, the 9 or 10.
The last time a Celtics team was winning by, like, you just turned the TV on and you just said, we're probably going to win by 20 tonight.
Yeah, well, every time, yeah. If you didn't.
That's what I was expecting. Every game, no matter who the competition was, that's what I was expecting. I don't remember that since Bill Walton was playing on this team.
Yeah, so Al Horford is not the answer, Joe. Is, like Timmy said, is Tice defensively the answer?
He can play the same kind of role. It's just how the referees are with Tice.
Yeah, oh my God.
He gets a foul as soon as he walks on the court. Yeah. Now, I think they can survive the rest of the regular season. You want to be third or fourth seed anyways. You don't want to be first or second half to play a series with the Nets to start. So, and they can survive a first round. Other than that, if they're playing the Cavaliers or the Bulls, I think they survive easily. You get to the second round, it's going to be tougher. Let's see what that meniscus looks like. Maybe he'll be back then.
Oh, I don't know.
They didn't have a full complement.
I just want to play Toronto in the first round. Oh my God. Like you said, the way they played Timmy with all the scrubs in there, Toronto, they'd wipe Toronto out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Toronto, that's not much of a team.
You know,
Pablo Siakam couldn't go up against Williams. Williams would be blocking all those shots.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a problem, but with Tatum and Brown and Horford back,
I hate to say this, my Zoom is a little messed up here. I don't know if I can go out and come back in.
Well, we see you fine.
You look good, though.
It's just I have just a little tiny picture on my screen. I don't know if I hit some crazy button or something.
Yeah, you look slimmer.
Okay.
Okay, we'll roll
Take
along.
20 pounds off you, Timmy, and usually TV ad the weight. Maybe we'll just create a little picture for you.
I remember they put
You
me on
look
the
better that way, Tim.
They put me on the Jumbotron at the Bruins game, and my phone exploded. The first one was, "Don't worry, Tim, the camera adds 80 pounds."
Well, if you're a small guy, I love pictures with jockeys. So I'm coming over your house to get a picture.
Getting back to the Celtics, I mean, it was almost too good to be true, guys, because I couldn't see anybody beating them the way they were playing. I mean, how easy did it look, those games? Right?
Yeah,
it was like casual. They would casually get a 20-point lead, 25, 30-point lead. It was phenomenal, this run. I mean, can they keep doing it with Tice? I mean, what is
I think they can.
What's the difference between, does Tice add some things that Rob Williams doesn't add?
Well, he's a better rebounder than Rob Williams, I think. I think he has
Better shooter, much better offensive player. He can do everything Rob can, and he can shoot.
But look,
now, is that decline in defense enough? This team's playing very well.
Well, that's the thing, yeah.
Is that decline, what is it, a 25% decline in defense from one player?
No, not that dramatic.
But I think the biggest thing with that defense is the swallowing of the front four. It isn't so much Rob. Rob cleans up the mistakes, but that front four swarming, they've been hitting those West Coast Conference, the West Conference teams that have been getting them. They kill them in the first quarter. They don't know what hit them with that kind of defense.
Yeah,
okay.
And they don't recover the rest of the game.
I'm gonna change my mind from the original. No, the season's not over. I mean, Daniel Tice is an adequate. Al Horford is pretty adequate in there. No, I'm not burying them. They're too good right now to just put a stake in them. They're too good.
Offensively, they don't change the game. The team doesn't change any. Maybe they, like Joe said, they get an uptick a little better offensively.
Some alley-oops. We'll miss those cool alley-oops that he does,
Hey, Tice can do that, and every once in a while, Al will venture in there and do it.
You look, but don't sleep on the fact that he alters shots, Rob Williams, by his mere presence.
Even shots on the perimeter, he alters.
Yeah, he does.
Throw them up.
He changes the way they rotate offensively. He changes their game plan. He's a game changer. Now, we've talked about, since Rob Williams got in the league, the problem with this, and that when we talked about him being signed to a 4-year deal, that can he stay healthy? And the answer right now is no.
This was the first year he played more games than he sat out.
Yeah.
And he was playing 20 minutes a game, which is a lot for him.
Yeah.
He never played more than like 12 minutes a game on a season, but I guess it had to come to him, but maybe not. It all depends. If that tier isn't as bad as you seem to think, Scotty, if it's bad, it's got to be repaired. If it's not bad, you just cut it out, polish it up. He's back to running like Russ said in 3 weeks.
Well, look, that was an NFL injury, the non-contact injury. And we always know when these guys go down with no contact, we know exactly what it is, like clockwork. And so that's what it was.
A lot of times it's an ACL when you see that. So
yeah, right. But it's something in the knee and it's not pretty.
I tore my meniscus once. It's a weird feeling. Your knee doesn't hurt. It just feels like
every once in a while it does.
It feels like it can bend the wrong way if it felt like doing it.
Yeah.
It's not going to, but it feels like it could.
Yeah, you get a sharp pain underneath your kneecap. It's not like in your knee itself. It's underneath the knee.
Yeah, but also, it's going to be about how much his pain threshold is and how much this guy's comfortable playing, not at 100%.
Yeah, Rob has never had a very good pain threshold. That's why he sat out most of his career.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
So,
he's so fluid for a big man. He's very, very athletic out there. I mean,
he's not that big, he's, there's a lot of guys,
Oh, I know.
Steelers is taller than him. It's just a rod can jump through the roof.
And he's got 8-foot guy arms. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But that when he jumps like that, that's why he's got the tendinopathy in his knees too. That they call it jumper's knees because he jumps so high. He's coming down high. That's a big man coming down on those poor little knees.
I gotta believe that guy could have been in the U.S. Olympic volleyball team. I mean,
yeah.
Can you imagine? I mean, and Duncan, that nobody would want any part of that guy. All of a sudden, can you imagine how high he gets and what was he able to crunch the ball? But look, it's always about Jason Tatum because the NBA is always about your best player on the team. Jason Tatum has not only played fantastic offensively, but he's bought in defensively. So you're going to need guys like Jason Tatum rebounding more than they may have rebounded in the past. And
we're talking about Tice. He'll be lucky to make it 3 quarters without fouling out. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, you got to use them selectively, and that's where Al has to really contribute.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And you can get away for a while. Grant will have a lot of problems. Grant can cover a big man. He always fouls out really quickly.
I'm not that familiar with the Celtics bench. Is there another big man sitting over there that I don't know about?
No, they got
Lou Cornette, but it would do the next guy up after Tyson L would be Grant.
Okay, Cornette can shoot the threes, right?
No,
yeah, he's got some range.
Yeah, but nobody's looking for Cornette to shoot
7. I've seen.
They wouldn't cover him. Put it this way, Tim: if he was out in the 3-point line, they wouldn't defend it.
I remember watching a game. He was banging some threes.
Yeah, I know, but we're not going to win any championships. 18
on the floor.
What is he? 7? Is he 7 feet tall? Is he 7 feet tall?
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, look.
Tatum was covering Carl Anthony Towns the other night, if you notice, quite a bit. So he can take on a big man. He's got the length to deal with him, and if he only has 1 or 2 fouls, he'd be the 4th guy in line.
That game last night, they were quite impressive. They really hung in there, and you
thought they could hang in. I mean, that was a completely second and third string game.
Yeah, they coached.
And then Marcus turned into the old Marcus at the last minutes of the game. Turnovers, bad threes.
Pritchard looked pretty good, huh?
What's that?
Pritchard looked pretty good.
He has been so hot the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He's hitting like 60% of his threes. 60%.
For people our age, little Jerry Seasting.
Oh, Scotty, I was just going to say that word.
Yeah, doesn't he?
I mean, why do we have to describe the white guys with the white guys? We could say Eddie House, right?
No, actually, Eddie House.
It's always the thing.
Yeah, but he is, because both of them look like they could be accountants. Eddie House looked like a ball player.
Sheasting is not Sheasting.
Pritchard.
This kid is identical to my nephew Shane. I mean, they could be twins.
Yeah. So I mean, but he does, and it felt like Seasting never missed. Now he wasn't heaving up 3-pointers, obviously.
Andrew Toney.
Yeah, but he was heaving up 20-footers. But
those guys are deadly. Those guys are deadly in the playoffs. Those guys who, when they get the shot, they lay it down. It won't be, but it feels like when it's happening to you, it feels like they're shooting like 98%.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, Neesmith. All of a sudden, first of all, nobody
very aggressive, isn't he?
Nobody gives an effort like that kid, and that's from the get-go. And you can kind of see all of a sudden what a jump he's going to make year 3 next year. He's going to be in the rotation. He's a shooter.
Who's he going to knock up?
Well, he's a shooter. He's a shooter. They'll always find time, a place for a shooter. But
he's the most tenacious defender they have. I
he
think.
Sure is.
He's more tenacious than smart. I hate to be the guy that all of a sudden gets him. Where does this guy come from?
Yeah. So all of a sudden, Danny's drafting looks pretty good. Now Pritchard's contributing. He looks like a legitimate NBA player.
And playing defense too.
Neesmith. The Langford thing, I'm glad they cut bait on him. And, obviously Brad Stevens was happy to get rid of him. He couldn't play at all. But
what number pick was he in the draft?
Langford was
14.
14 and Hero 13.
14th best
And the only person that Rob Williams played more minutes than.
14th best person in the world that year, and they laid an egg. They had the opportunity to get the 14th best player.
Wasn't Tyler Hero the
13.
pick right in front of him?
the whole planet. He's the 14th guy.
They didn't try to move up, and they had all those picks.
They wouldn't do it.
And they thought Tyler Hero was going to fall to them, and they got taken right in front of them.
He was the kid who led the nation in scoring or in 3-pointers, right?
Hero?
Langford?
Neesmith.
No, Neesmith.
Okay, Neesmith.
Langford hadn't played much at all. He'd been injured all the way through college too, but he had a lot of promise.
Yeah, he thought Langford was going to be the next
Do
Jalen
we have
Brown.
to give all the credit to the coach because these pieces have been there for a few years. Most of these pieces, right?
Yeah,
And
they sure
why?
have.
What buttons? And I'm giving all the credit in the world to the coach. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's every manager's job. Everybody wants to be the boss. It's really hard to be the boss. I remember the first time I became the boss, and I thought it was going to be. It's hard. You're dealing with personalities and family problems, and every person comes with a bag of goods that it becomes not even about the job or accomplishing the task of your corporation. It becomes just you become a gigantic babysitter for personal problems.
Right.
And that goes with this coach's job. It's not just, working on their passing. It's all the stuff that comes with it,
That's why Brad talked about getting a black coach in here to relate more with the players. They probably, I assume Udoka is a little younger than Brad Stevens, but probably not much younger.
And the guy who, you almost look at him and you can see he kind of commands respect,
Yeah, he's not a guy who's trying to call a timeout like Doc Rivers so we can get another couple minutes of airtime. He's not that guy.
These days with these guys getting such massive salaries and on all the attention, they're like national stars. They're like movie
International
stars,
Timmy.
They're like movie stars now,
Yeah.
To find a way to
get them to dive on the court. Yeah.
Have authority over them. I don't even know if the word is authority anymore. It's
buying into it. They're just buying into
buy into what you're selling.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, Joe? I mean,
he's a leader. Leadership is a gift to some people, and it seems like this guy has it.
And look, Brad Stevens picked him, Joe.
Yeah, and Brad Stevens also has given him the lineup he wanted, the rotation he wanted. Didn't want Kemba, didn't want Romeo, didn't want somebody, didn't want
Schroeder.
He gave him the rotation that he wanted. Got him Tice, got him D White. The whole transformation has been since D White's got there. And I quietly done put the pieces together.
I like Brad where he is too. He's a talent evaluator. He's an X's and O's guy. He's a guy who I think is happy in a room with a box full of tapes and mountains of analytical data and just pouring over things like that and picking talent. I think he's happy in that role.
Yeah, that's a great point. Brad Stevens looked pained to be the coach of the Celtics last year. You could tell in his face he did not want to be there anymore.
And he also picked a good coach to go with the good rotation that he's picked. Everyone matches it, he may fix the Celtics nicely.
Yeah, Greg Popovich pedigree is a lot better than Bill Belichick pedigree. Right?
Popovich found a way. He found a way.
Yeah, that guy. And Udoka's a real classy guy. I'm glad he's with the Celtics. And yeah, at the very least, Timmy and Joe, the Celtics are going to be a tough out for anyone. You're going to have to beat the Celtics. You're going to have to beat the Celtics 4 out of 7 games, and you're going to face a lot of difficulties doing that. Every team in the NBA right now has a flaw, or 1 or 2 or 3. Right now, it looks like our flaw is that Rob Williams is hurt. But yeah, like you said, Joe, hopefully, all we're going to talk about is, can Rob come back? Can Rob come back? And
if he doesn't, he doesn't. I think they can weather the storm the way Tatum, Brown, Smart are playing, and Al can play when he wants to.
Could you even fathom this conversation a year ago?
2 months ago.
They were underachieving the year
Where
ago.
Rob Williams getting hurt would be such a cataclysmic event.
January 9th, guys, we were in
He didn't play
11th
much
place.
last year.
My man Marcus yelled at the team and got them turned around.
He's back to
Oh.
being a man now.
We have tape of you wanting Marcus out too. We
I
have
went
it.
over to the Scotty dark side. I went over to Scotty's dark side of hatred for a while. I'm sorry, Marcus. I'm sorry. You were my guy. The whole time I abandoned you briefly. I was swayed by the dark forces in the world. You've always been my guy.
But then Marcus turned in right back to the old ISO Marcus into that game last night. He was awful.
You could see
he turned a 7-point lead into an overtime game.
See the wheels turning in his head. The wheels turning in his head. I have to be the star tonight. I'm the guy
totally did that.
I have to take over. You know what I mean? I got to show.
It was ridiculous because they were so well.
He couldn't do it.
He didn't need to do that.
I know.
And that's where D. White does not have the cred yet to literally grab the ball from Marcus and tell him to go away.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully this might be a little lesson. Hey, Marcus, look what you tried. It failed. Go back to what was working.
Yeah. Oh, please.
Dish it over to Neesmith and he'll drain it for you.
Maybe a dog will just play this tape over and over, make Marcus watch it 100 times and say, look what happens when you become you again.
But the problem with the loss is they went from 1st to 4th seed. That's how crazy this is going to be.
But actually, I think we want to be 3rd or 4th.
No, we don't, Joe. You want home court advantage, Joe. Come on. The referees treat you better. You want it.
You guarantee 3rd or 4th. You guaranteed home advantage in the 1st round. And you might even get in the 2nd round.
I
want number 1 seed.
This is much what TV this year's NBA Eastern playoff. It's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah, this is going to be fun. I can't wait. I mean, and we didn't think we were going to have any of this. And then now all of a sudden you have the Bruins where they're playing competitively. And again,
I love the pickup.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I just want to mention though, this shows you, I mean, Atlanta Braves were a huge example. Atlanta Braves were just mulling around. They picked up a bunch of guys at the deadline, and they won a World Series. Look, the Red Sox helped themselves with the Schwarbers of the world and the Iglesias and Robles. The Celtics are in the discussion right now because they went out and got D. White and Tice, right? Simply enough. We're dismissing them.
And
they're a play-in. No, but I'm saying at the deadline, and then how important that is. I mean, if you have any glimmer of hope, boys, you are a buyer. I mean, we have to just understand that moving forward in any sport. You're a buyer. All right, so we go to the New England Patriots. Bob Kraft today in Palm Beach.
Bob Kraft didn't want to be a buyer.
Pictures of the palm trees and Bobby K. He was not happy with Bill Belichick in that draft. He called the draft the last 4 years, other than this year, an abomination. And it really was. I mean, you see the guys that they drafted, the Williams, the N'Keal Harrys, the Winoviches.
Well, the director of player personnel is now down in Houston making those draft choices.
Making crappy picks. Yeah.
So, and he was gone this draft.
Yeah.
No Nick Casario, and all of a sudden they're making good picks.
You draw
the conclusion.
I get out of that? Bill Belichick's fired next year if they don't win a playoff game.
I doubt it.
Oh, Timmy, hot take. Here we go. It's on fire. Absolutely. He was throwing the gauntlet down.
Yeah.
You think he's happy, Joe, with Tommy B?
But who's he going to get that's going to do better?
New blood, Joe. Go find another Bill Belichick. Go find a young Bill Belichick. Go find a young Bill Parcells.
Well, that's how he found Belichick, was through Parcells.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bet it's Mayo. I'm gonna bet Kraft stays in house. I'm gonna bet they're Mayo and Kraft are friends.
I don't know about that. I think he wants, Mayo.
He couldn't even coach the linebackers last year.
I know. Scotty, you want a
He didn't
coach.
coach them up at all.
You don't want an ex-player. You want a coach.
Okay, then Vrabel. Then they'll pay for Vrabel.
Oh, yeah, I'd go Vrabel.
Vrabel is, you want a proven commodity, or, you know, some college guy who was taking, you know, some school that has never been in the playoffs and brought him to like a Final Four 3 years of like almost like Brad.
No college coach is ever successful coming into the NFL.
Okay, but what I'm using that I shouldn't have said college. A guy you look around at, like a Hein Bloom, a guy who's competing with the Red Sox with a fifth of the salary. A guy who was taking less talent, like what did Bear Bryant say? He'll take Yosms and beat him with hisms or whatever. And
it's Vrabel. Now remember, the Patriots didn't the Patriots give the Jets a first-round pick to get Belichick?
I think they did.
I think they gave two first round.
They got punished into doing that, right?
Yeah. So I think they gave. Yeah, right. No, I think it was just one first-round pick. So
going back to Vrabel. If he doesn't win this year, I bet you he gets fired at Tennessee. He might be available.
I'll take Mike Vrabel all day.
Good fit, right? And you know
he's always been a fan favorite here. Favorite.
No, Pete Carroll didn't work out here, but he certainly worked out in Seattle. A guy like a Pete Carroll, I mean, Kraft really didn't have it that long. Carroll had some learning to do, but that kind of guy, a great coach, a great talent evaluator, a great coach. They're
also a guy who knows the market. You got to know the market. Pete Carroll, the market was too big for him. We were too intense for him, for Pete Carroll.
But he proved to be a good coach, though, and a good talent.
He did it, but he needed more of a Seattle laid-back environment.
Well, no, he needed USC.
Yeah,
for 10 years.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and he figured it out. You know what I mean? But the guy could coach. You know.
Absolutely, yeah, he was a good defensive coach, and you know that's what I said. Vrabel, Mayo, Kraft likes him on the defensive end, so he'll probably be more likely to go that. And he'd be willing to pay Vrabel big bucks.
I would not be surprised if Bob Kraft doesn't have covertly now some people out there checking under the rocks and looking over what's out there.
Yeah,
and he said who the cream of the crop is there to be looking at.
He said he thinks about it all the time that they haven't won a playoff game since.
No, he does, but he doesn't want to open his checkbook again. There's still.
No, he did. I know Joe's going to say, but Joe, he did last year. Come on.
Last year he did, but they still didn't spend to the cap last year.
Yeah,
Belichick is tight with a buck, I'll tell you.
Yeah, it's like it's his money. It's like his first communion money. He's still holding.
Well, I think he gets a cut. If he saved $10 million under the cap, I think he gets 20%.
Let me tell you what.
He always shoots.
Let me tell you what.
I love Joe's conspiracies. There we go. What's up?
It might be in his contract, because.
You know what I mean? I deal with some property managers who have, you know, they get a cut of the profits at the end of the year. That means they don't,
come on.
No, this is what it comes down to. Maintaining a building, okay? You have to spend money to maintain it. Sometimes the lobby gets a little old, you know, it needs a new facade on it or something like that. But they get a cut of, you know, what's in the black at the end of the year. Well, that building, I watched them deteriorate because things have to be kept up. You have to reinvest into your product. You know,
oh my God, you're buying into Joe's conspiracy? You just stop it.
I don't think. I think
stop it. He's getting paid like $15 million a year. Come on.
I think. I don't know if
he's working on commission too.
He's also the
Bill, come on in here. Come on in here. Let me write.
He got away with operating like that for years because he had Brady the Binky pulling these wins out for years. Well, reality has now set in. You know, you got to spend in this league if you want to win.
Let me write you out your commission check. Come on.
Never underestimate the value of sex and money. I will tell you that right now.
Look, I
agree not the biological father.
Timmy. I agree. All right. Any more conspiracy theories before I go?
Follow the money and follow the woman.
Bob Kraft held a press conference to make that announcement.
The biological father is back in town. Should we say that?
Yeah. Maybe.
his moral fabric seemed to be shredded once his wife Myra died. That's for
I think it
sure.
was shredded before that,
I
Scotty.
think it was, but
From things I've heard, you know what I mean?
yeah, oh, I'm sure it was.
Those Cambodian ladies shredded it up. For her.
Oh my!
Tall girl who had a gag order put on her.
Oh, I'm sure Bob Kraft has
They
many
got paid
children.
very well. Those massage parlors. They're no longer massaging people.
There's lots of envelopes to kids every month. And I'm sure he knows all the names. I'm sure of it. Yeah.
Get that DNA kit out.
I'm sure. Look, Patriots signed Jabari Peppers today. I always liked him. I wanted them to draft him, in the 2017 draft.
He was what, a top 10 pick?
Yeah. Well,
And he
something like
returned his
that.
kicks, and they lost Turner, so there you go. He's your kick returner.
I liked Peppers a lot, and now he signs. I think he had an ACL, and it seems everybody has an ACL in sports now. But he should be healthy for training camp. What do you guys think of that move?
I think Bill Belichick will love it. He always loves himself a big safety. 230 pounds. That's big for a safety.
Yeah.
That's the size of most linebackers in the league right now. So he'll put him right up in the box. And I can see him playing with all sorts of strange. Phillips having 4 safeties on the field at one time.
Does it help our speed issue? Our issue has been muscle. It's been speed, though.
Yeah, Peppers has got speed. I don't know after the ACL what's left of it, but we'll see.
5'11", 216 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big guy. So you got Duger, Phillips, Peppers.
Yeah, we
and then
talk about Duger a lot. He's
McCourty. Yeah. Then you have
McCourty being like the captain back there.
Well, they're playing a zone, so that's not a mystery.
Yeah.
I mean, that's happening.
Well, unfortunately, if the other team knows what you're doing every time, that can.
Well,
if you don't have the ability to adjust, then you could be dead in the water.
Well, you would hope now with this signing, that kind of gives you an idea that they're not going to waste a first-round pick on a DB. Would you agree?
Which we usually
they might go quarterback.
Well, we seem to get our best defensive backfield guys off the street. It seems like
the corners, anyways.
Yeah.
I hope they go wide receiver. I hope if these two Alabama guys, Mechie or Williams.
Yeah.
I'd like to see
Williams is the first round pick.
And he had an ACL too, right?
Yeah. Both did.
Oh yeah.
Remember the championship game? They both went down in the first half.
Well, that just shows you these guys should not. I don't know if this artificial turf. They got to stop playing this stuff. It's ridiculous. They're just leaving their ACLs all over the place.
Yeah, but like places like Gillette, if they put real grass in, then they can't have all the concerts and conventions and all that other stuff.
Joe, you invest 50, 60, 70 million dollars in a player, and then he gets his ACL torn up. I mean,
Bob Kraft wants to make more money out of that stadium than just eat.
Yeah, it's tough to maintain. They just put turf in a little league field in Milton, and they'll be able to play twice as many games there now.
Oh yeah, well,
just a matter of economics.
Local sports, here in Brookline, they should be having turf for their baseball fields. It's ridiculous. I mean, these kids can't play in the spring because
especially if they don't train well. I mean, you're just playing in the mud. You can't baseball. You can't even play.
No.
At second base.
And once you tear it up, it takes all year for it.
The whole field ends up being that the whole infield ends up being speedy dry by the end of the year, which the first thing of dust comes up and everything's just blowing around.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And then towns like Brookline that have plenty of dough, I don't know why they don't spend it on an artificial turf field. But that's for another day. All right, boys, we go to the Red Sox. It's happening. The season would have started 2 days from now, opening day at Fenway Park.
To be half decent too, right?
It was as cold as shit the last 2 days. Can you imagine
It's gonna get
60
nicer.
Fenway Park. One of these
I
last.
think it's going to be 60 on the
Yeah,
31st.
I think the weather, Scotty, we had a couple of cold days, but I think we're in for a change.
All right.
I'm looking the weather up as we speak.
Yeah, so
60 degrees for the high on
the high would have
Thursday.
been 61. Yeah, so it would have been no Thursday 64. Yeah, it would have been really pleasant. Yeah.
Imagine if they started today or yesterday.
By about 9 o'clock, that'd be down to 30 degrees.
It
so
was. I was
still.
out and about yesterday. It was freezing out there.
I know. Today wasn't any better. I know.
It wasn't much better, no.
Yesterday set a record for the date in the history
Really?
of Boston
Cold.
for cold.
You know, I looked outside. It looked like it was nice, and I didn't dress properly. And then, you know what the worst is when you're standing at your car filling it with gas. The
Oh,
double. Now I have. It costs $100 to fill my car now.
holy wow.
And freezing at the same time. I was just. It was just 10 miserable minutes of watching the dollar thing ching and freezing at the same time. You know.
I know, because they don't let you have the hook where you can just do it automatically and jump back in your car anymore.
Well, you can't put your gas cap in anymore because now
Oh,
the
I know,
gas cap's attached.
Certain gas stations take the little hook off. You can't do it.
Yeah, the Stop and Shop one in Brookline. You do Stop and Shop, get your $1.50 discount?
I don't. I'm a Costco guy, so.
Oh, all right. Oh yeah.
I gotta feed the animals here. I bring home like 5 carts of food every week. You know?
I know people who drive just to Costco
Yeah.
just for the gas price.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. My neighbor
And that's a tough drive to Dedham and back.
I know, my neighbor goes to Dedham to get cheaper gas.
Well, my problem is they only take Visa there, and my business is Amex, all Amex cards. So I'm screwed on that one.
My favorite, in
We used to take Amex, but then Amex didn't give them the good break on.
the people who used to going up north on 95 who wanted to avoid the toll would drive like 10 miles to avoid a 50-cent toll. That's true.
Oh, my father was like that. He was unbelievable. Oh,
I
ever tell you,
spent $10 in gas an hour.
my father used to have his buddy worked at Nazareth, the orphanage, right? So my father had an ID that said he worked at the Nazareth orphanage, and everywhere we went, he flashed that thing, and we went in for free. The drive-in, the beach, everywhere. I got the orphan. They all look like you, sir. Well, they're all orphans. Come on.
I love it. It's great.
A stick of bologna, a block of welly cheese, and a bottle of Zyrex. You can feed 100 people.
All
right. All right. So I love Red Sox prospects. I love Red Sox prospects more than when they come up and play. Today, in the spring training game, Tristan Casas was at first.
Ooh.
York was at second. Mir was at short, and Brunellis was at third. Now, Brunellis is probably going to get replaced by Blaze Jordan. That's the future of the Red Sox right there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Pretty damn good.
Well, hopefully, hypothetically,
And what that means is, boys, the Xanders, the Devers are going to the outfield if they stay on this team.
Devers?
Oh, Devers screams to be an outfielder. He's a terrible
left field. Other than left fielder,
Devers would be a good left fielder, I think.
You can't have 4 left fielders, though.
Maybe a Fenway.
Where are you going to put Xander?
You get a big left field that I don't know
about. Xander in right field.
I don't know about Devers in a big left field, Scotty. Maybe a Fenway. But I mean, I don't see him in space operating well at all.
No, I think Devers
in space.
No, Devers is very athletic now. Look, these guys are not defensively. They can't hold weight. You're not going to win a lot of World Series.
You wonder is
that left side of the infield.
Is Devers going to have another horrible defensive start at third base this year? What did he go, a third of the season, bumbling and mumbling last year?
He's just not. He's just not a natural infielder, is he, Joe?
He doesn't look like he doesn't. He looks like he tries hard, but he just doesn't have it. And having that extra 2 or 3 seconds the outfielder is given might help him.
Yeah, I mean, he trends that way. And he's a big kid. He's just a big kid. I think he's. I don't like.
You wouldn't put him at first before left?
We got so many.
That's where Scotty St. Tristan is.
Yeah, the Cases can't do anything but play first base, apparently.
Yeah, but Devers is far better hitter than Cases, right?
Oh, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. Oh, of course, Devers,
Yeah.
star.
Devers is an elite hitter.
Yeah, and they better sign him because Red Sox Nation, we pay a hell of a lot of money for our tickets. Devers needs to be on the Red Sox
But
forever.
Scotty, like long term, where do you have to have a.
I think he's a third. I think he's a left fielder. I think it screams for left field, guys. I just.
I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think he's fast enough.
I don't know. We've never really seen that.
I don't think he's slow, Timmy. If you watch him run the bases, he's pretty quick.
Yeah. Look.
He's got some wheels. He just looks slow with that kind of build he has. He has the build of a tank.
You see him like sprinting off the crack of the bat? I don't know.
Timmy, I don't think he's any slower than Andrew Benintendi.
Benintendi seemed athletic though, you know?
That's because he was thin and lanky.
Then he get fat. Benintendi was a small guy, and he gained 5 pounds and looked like 40 on a regular guy.
Yeah.
Look, unless they send maybe I'm hearing like a Nick York might go to the outfield. So, but this is the future. The Red Sox teased us today. They gave us that. They knew. The guys who really follow this would love this stuff, and we do.
But guys like Nick York isn't going to be up for at least 2 years the earliest, 2-3 years.
I don't know about
single A.
I don't know.
Single A. Manellis was DFA'd a week ago.
Not DFA, Joe.
Yeah.
Designated for
both those prospects we got with Katie.
Oh, I know. I just get excited.
And they both passed waivers. No one wanted them for free.
No, Benellis was not DFA. What are you talking about? Not Benellis.
Yes, a week ago.
Not Benellis. Benellis is the guy we got for Hunter Renfroe. He's a top prospect. He's a kid. He didn't get DFA, Joe. Come on.
Yeah, they got this.
No, he did.
They're not on the 40-man roster.
No, he didn't have to be on the 40-man roster. He's just a kid. He's not a run out of options. Come on, Joe. No way. Benellis is just a kid. He just came out of the draft. He just got drafted. No. I know minor league baseball for the Red Sox.
Okay.
All right, so please just even stop it. What you're confusing is Potts and Rosario, or there were two guys that we got on
Rosario's designated for a sign.
What?
Rosario.
Yeah, he got and then the Yankees picked him up. There were two guys we picked up on the Moreland deal. They put both of those guys on waivers. The Potts guy, whatever, he cleared waivers, so he's back on, not on the 40-man. And this Rosario guy, he went to the Yankees. But Benellis,
the Yankees taking someone from us for a change.
Yeah, the Yankees were just, I don't know what the hell they're doing. He's a stiff, this guy. But Benellis is a young prospect. He's the main part of why we got rid of Hunter Renfroe.
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you. Is Garrett Whitlock going to be a starter or a reliever this year?
Yeah, I don't know. I want him in the reliever, but thank you for mentioning that, because but we don't even talk about Matt Barnes anymore. If
he did have a great half a year.
Not only did he have a great half, second half, Joe and Timmy, they refused to pitch him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They took him off the roster. It was terrible. But he looks good. If you could put Barnes back into that closer role, and Cora really hasn't talked about that yet, then if you stretch out Whitlock, yeah, he's probably a starter.
You're happy with Barnes as a closer?
Look, Barnes
did a great job. He was an all-star last year.
At that point, but we've seen this guy like a roller coaster through the year.
Right? You're right, Tim.
Well, let's talk about a lot. Look, Barnes is one of the guys, Garrett Cole, a number of guys that once they started enforcing the whole grip, using the substances, that he was affected dramatically. Now, hopefully they can figure it out, maybe figure it out. But yeah, wouldn't you want him as your closer?
Which, is it the guy that end of the year? Yes. The guy we see sometimes I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
You don't want to lose games early in the season
I
in Yankee Stadium.
want Koji back.
You don't want to use.
Matt Barnes isn't bad if he doesn't walk the first batter. That's what you know he's going. It's going to end badly when he walks the first batter. He does it a lot.
When we last saw Matt Barnes, he could not get anyone out. I mean, so I don't know, but he was so good early. I mean, he was so good. He was good enough that Hein Bloom gave him a 2-year extension.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who's that?
that was me.
Bloom's seems to be a pretty good talent evaluator. So, and Hein we trust right now, right?
And Hansel Robles, I know a great friend of Joe's, who I liked. I liked Robles. Didn't you like him at the end of the season when they picked him up?
He's a great, just 1 to 3 batters. However, you use him. Corey used him very well there, right at the end of innings. That last out, that he wouldn't have to use him in the next inning. And but you can't leave him in there for an inning or two.
But he closed a number of games at the end of the season. Now he's been signed to a minor league deal, but the problem is he can't get out of whatever country he's in. I mean, he's got visa problems or something.
Yeah.
I thought he was just like a Caribbean, same as
I thought we had somebody in the embassy that took care of these things.
I don't know. He can't get out, so we're gonna have to.
What country is he from?
I don't know.
Usually, John Kerry's office or someone will take care of things like that. The Red Sox always had in with Kerry's office, and he was
maybe Argentina or something like that.
Well, Timmy's got a boat, so looks like we're gonna have to go and go get him.
Extra gas cans on it.
Tell him to meet
as long as
on the beach.
As long as it's 2 foot or less, I can go anywhere.
We're gonna get Hansel Robles. Look, Bobby Dahlbeck to me is one of the key guys in that lineup, because if Bobby Dahlbeck sucks, then that Dahlbeck, Vasquez, possibly Bradley at the bottom 3, that could be 3 innings of a 9-inning game that are completely useless.
Scotty, I think you're absolutely right. A lot of this season depends on what Bobby Dahlbeck we see. Is he going to graduate to that guy who's a terror all the time? Or is he going to be the guy as soon as, he faces an all-star caliber pitcher, just make him over for the day?
It doesn't even have to be all-star caliber, just regular pitching. He feasts on the 4A guys like the September call-ups.
Yeah.
He was the hottest guy in baseball against the September call-ups.
Yeah.
But against the regular major leaguers, he couldn't get a hit.
Yeah.
If he did a full schedule for the Worcester Wolves Sox, he'd hit 80 homers.
Yeah.
No, really.
He feasts on that bad pitching. He loves that.
The pitchers set him up. They see him getting up to bat, and those really good pitchers, they know exactly what to do with him.
Yeah.
Set him up.
He's going to be a hell of a softball player in the beer league. I can tell you that.
Hey, maybe a hitting coach will tighten up his swing, and maybe he will end up being a hitter.
You seem to like him a lot.
He's a big freaking guy, isn't he?
Yeah.
Oh my God. He's huge. Now here's another guy. See, this is what I don't understand. Problem is, boys, we have no organizational depth in the outfield. Duran was kind of our one shot, and Duran.
He's already back in AAA.
Is he done? Is he done? Is Duran done? I mean,
it feels like
he's back in AAA for more seasoning.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like the moment you're holding the bat like that. Goodbye.
How about that guy Fitzy that was hitting all the home runs?
I know
him a lot, right?
How can you not have a guy named Ryan Fitzgerald? How can he not play for the Red Sox? And my question for you: has there ever been a Fitzgerald that played for the Red Sox?
Was that Fitzy guy in the clubhouse that caused a lot of trouble?
Oh, he sure did. Oh my God, Joe! When I was working in '86. That pervert was, he was in the visiting clubhouse. Oh my God. He said 3 words to me, and I told him to go F himself, and he never said another word to me, nor I would even have.
What are you talking about? I missed that.
This guy Fitzpatrick. No, he was
He's the
Fitzpatrick.
one that was
The clubhouse
abusing
guy.
all the bad boys and stuff.
Clubhouse guy
Yeah.
for the Red Sox, right?
Yeah, he looked like a pervert. He didn't even, I mean, he was out of central casting.
Wow.
Yeah, that guy was a bad, and they knew it too. What he was in the Red Sox, if I'm right, Red Sox clubhouse for a while, and then they threw him into the visitors.
Yeah, because they're bringing their own sons into that.
Yeah. And also he had the club guys were dealing drugs to all the players, all of them. Amphetamines, all this stuff. That guy was letting everybody do whatever they wanted. And finally, remember there was a guy who came to the Fenway with a sign that said,
Yeah.
you know, this guy is abusing me, right? Or something like that.
Really?
Yeah. And the Red Sox covered it up for a long time, as the Red Sox were known to do. All that stuff. But no, there's never been a Fitzgerald, has there?
That I know of.
No.
So I'm reading here. He led the spring training in home runs.
Yeah, they put him
Yeah,
down.
he was killing it. Even the first game, guys like you know his name. As soon as he came up on his first at bat, he hit a home run, and you was going Fitzy, like they're best friends.
But why would they drop him so quickly?
Maybe they think he's like Bobby Dahlbeck. Can hit the bad pitcher, now he's going to learn to hit the good pitcher.
Well, you know, they got 28 men to roster till the end of April. You would think that they would have had a spot for this guy, especially when you have such an offensive hole, possibly right
They'll
field.
get a lot more at bats in AAA, right?
Yeah, I know, but this guy, he's not a young kid. I think he's like 27 or something.
Well, that's kind of young for baseball.
No, it's not. No, I mean, you got to put up or shut up by then.
Maybe he'll continue this rampage in AAA, and they can pop him back up, right?
Yeah, well, they could always bring him back up. Yeah, I mean, so the season starts in 9
Wait.
days.
It's not a money thing. He's probably making the minimum, right?
Yeah, but it would be nice to have a guy Fitzy, right, in Boston.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind
You
of.
know, my 10 buddies named Fitzy.
And then the other 10 guys.
Well, there's Fitzpatrick, Fitzgerald, Fitzwilliam, Fitz everything.
Yeah. So someone screams, "Let's go Fitzy!" when he's out there. There's going to be like 8,000 guys turn around and say, "What do you want?" No, that's fun. Look, no city loves their last guy on the roster, and I've said this many times, than Boston. We love our last guy on the roster. We give them way more airtime than any of them ever deserve. And Fitzy would be a nice story.
Fitzy would be a star. Keep those Irish people happy.
And there's a couple Irish people.
Well, season ticket holders too.
Yeah, that's for sure. I shared with 3 Irish guys. Maybe you know them. All right, gotta go to the Bruins. All right, Timmy, talk about Hampus, your new love.
Oh my God! I mean, he's Charlie McAvoy. He's a big Charlie McAvoy. This guy, I noticed about him. Most defensemen, they call the gap when someone's coming on you. The other team breaking out. This guy confronts the guys at the red line. He doesn't wait for the blue line. He stops them at the red line before they can even develop anything. He's patient with the puck. I love it. I love the fact they signed him to a big deal. I love it.
But he's a big kid.
He's cool as a cucumber too. He fit right in on his first day. You would have thought he had some butterflies and stuff. No, he looked like he'd been there all season.
Beautiful outlet passes. I mean, what did Parcells always say? You can't teach big, right? I mean,
but he plays big on his skates, doesn't he?
Oh, he's smooth. He moves well for a guy his size. I mean, I don't know how the other.
It was a good pickup, a real good pickup. Well, they're having a fire sale there in Anaheim. A lot of guys up there.
I mean, this guy's.
All we did was give away picks.
What would you have done? You would search the minors for a guy like this. You'd waste 15 draft picks trying to get to a guy like this.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he signed up. I thought he signed a pretty good
8 years. 8 years.
8 years. I mean, I love it. I'm
And
so happy.
we know with those defenseman guys, he'll play out that contract and he'll get another deal.
Yeah. I mean, you
Those
know,
guys last forever.
Chara's still in the league.
what an addition. What an addition. And then they threw a tough guy in, you know, they got the other big kid there.
Brown.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna. You needed someone like him out there.
I haven't seen him play yet.
They start running, but you know, you'll see him out there if someone takes a run at Pasternak or Bergeron or something like that. You see Brown out there on the next shift. You know what I mean?
So you'll play Hampus and McAvoy together in clutch times.
Oh yeah, all day.
Right? But they won't be
Grizzly and Carlo will be the second pairing.
This looks looking pretty good too. He's a little dude, but he's playing pretty good these days too.
who?
I mean, the team's playing well. Grizzly.
Yeah.
And Fred, the little guy won't be on the ice as much now where he's not playing with McAvoy.
Yeah.
Well, look, we look not only with the Bruins, but all the teams, especially in the playoffs. If you don't have defenseman depth, that can cost you a series.
And you know, and let's not overlook this Brown kid coming. I mean,
Yeah, he's extraneous right now, but they can use him if someone gets hurt.
we really didn't have a designated tough guy. You know, a guy that's going to go out and, you know, right off the face-off, drop the gloves, and who's probably going to win the fight. You know what I mean? Now we got a guy. And
So
those days are completely gone.
Did you
is
see that Smith Wilson fight last night, Tim?
Yeah.
Whoa. For a guy with a fractured skull, I gotta give that Smith a lot of credit facing up against Wilson.
you
Yeah.
guys fighting with a fractured skull?
Yeah, Wilson, the first thing he do is take off Smith's helmet too, instead of pounding him.
That's
He got the
hot.
fractured skull only a month ago.
Okay, just who's tougher, hockey players or football players?
Football players suffer in silence, but hockey players go on forever.
So hockey players, Joe, you think are tougher?
They got the longevity part of it.
So you say
Football players can't last long.
who's tougher, Joe? Timmy.
I'm a hockey player, so it might be a little biased, you know. But football players are typically bigger guys.
But I'm
You know,
saying
more
who
muscle
handles
on
injuries more?
These hockey guys, boy, you read the injury list at the end of the playoffs and you can't believe what they've played through. You know what I mean? The Bergerons of the world and the Charas of the world. I mean, are there tougher guys on the planet than that? I don't know if there are.
Yeah, Bergeron, his latest injury, got an infection, had to have a surgery for that too.
Oh, those infections are
And
mother.
he didn't practice today, but he's gonna play tonight. That's the latest in his thing.
My
He
God.
doesn't practice, but he plays.
Talk about
Please.
tough. You know, Bergeron could be like a Navy SEAL or something like that. You know?
Oh my God, he is not appreciated enough in this town.
So that's what hockey players remind me of. When I was on the Coast Guard, we used to do an operation with the Navy SEALs every year. And these hockey players remind me of Navy SEALs, is what they remind me of.
Yeah, just small, tight,
Yeah, not an ounce of fat on them.
great
Just like,
athletes. Heads like
stamina, you know.
heads like concrete blocks. Go through right. Go
They
right.
do fracture though.
Yeah, yeah, right. But does it matter? If you're still playing with it, you know.
Let me tell you, by the end of the season, you probably have 5 or 6 chip bones in your foot from taking shots off the foot. You know, your elbows are like gone, your shoulders are gone, your kneecaps, you just tap them with the end of your finger, your whole leg goes numb. I don't know how these guys. I don't know how these guys do it. I really don't. Especially when you throw the playoffs in there, which go for 2 months by themselves. You know.
And they jump on that ice every time, like they're 5 years old on their first time on the pond.
It's unbelievable.
You guys, how excited those guys
I
are!
was beat up after a college season. I can't even imagine playing a pro season.
All right, so my final question is: Swayman a Stanley Cup victory goaltender? Can you win a Stanley Cup with Swayman?
Remains to be seen. You gotta give a
Well,
chance.
Took the words right out of my mouth, Joe.
Yeah, but do you think he has it? Do you think he might have the chops?
You aren't until you do it, I guess, Scotty. Right?
Yeah, but you're impressed by him.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's a good goalie.
But I haven't heard you rag on
He has
him.
an knack for a big play too. Keep it in the one goal games, he keeps them in the game. That was the big thing with Tuca. He would lose the game for him. You know.
Doesn't it seem like a year ago or that Tuca was on this team? Seems a long time ago,
Seems
right?
like 5 years ago.
Yeah, I know, right? All right, boys. Well, that's our show for tonight. Want to thank behind the scenes, Ian. Thank you very much. Want to thank the fellas. Please check us out on our website at thegrandstanders.com and tune in again next Wednesday night at 6:30 for another edition of Grandstanders Live. I'm your host, Scott Kerman. Have a great and happy night.